So I think we've talked about segmentation, so we don't need to speak a lot about how you segment different buyers and what their needs are. But there is the quantitative aspect and the need timing that you want to be aware of. The other component is, is there currently somebody servicing or providing product to a customer or a buyer? And so the keys here are you're looking at framing out, how large is the market opportunity in the sense of how much do they buy, how often do they buy. It can go from a consumer good that's purchased every week and all the way to industrial products that may have, longer cycle times. Maybe they're ordered once a year, once every year and a half. Some of the ones that are innovating on the front end in very fast cycle time areas are people like the condiments section of your grocery store, and you can even order Texas hot sauce over the internet, right? The ones that are looking at the longer cycle times are like MRO parts and equipment, and those tend to be a combination of things that are used like valves and seals and grease maybe regularly, and those that are looked at maybe once every year and a half if a new pump motor, for example, has to be replaced. So once you understand the cycle time, the magnitude of the sale, and so forth, then you need to know what the need timing is. So you've sized the market, so you have some sense of how big it'll be for you, and then you have to see what time frame there is. If you're in a market with 10 buyers, that's pretty easy to go around and talk to them about the product or service you're selling, and they might have some now, they may have a need now. If you're in a services market and you're selling market research, we talked about market research before, services, and you're talking to a number of different companies. Some have a budget for certain market research projects this year. Maybe their time frame is pretty immediate and they're about ready to buy. The third part that's really important is a budget. So you have a need and you've sized the need, you have a time frame and you figured out how quickly or how long the cycle time may be, and you have a budget. And so when you have a need, a time frame, and a budget, people are at least going to be willing to tell you what their purchase timetable is. And it may be, and this is very important, that you identify somebody with pretty good value size for you that purchases a bunch of the kinds of stuff you buy every year, but just is out of budget. Maybe the last couple months of a fiscal year, or they have enough of what they're doing right now, or they don't have any questions that they need answered right now. Maintaining a relationship with that individual means that you're moving closer and closer into that final cycle time moment when they are ready to buy. So leaving them and coming back and saying, I'll call you in a couple months later, is not going to be a very productive approach. Maintaining the relationship so that you understand them better as it goes and you're in place to help them make that purchase when they're ready is going to lead to more successful interaction with that buyer.